Hey my crafty creatures, so today I wanted to go through a little bit of what I want to make for this fall and winter, and I want to show you all of the patterns and ideas that I have behind that. Now I am using Notion for, I want to say, the first time, and I have put together at least a visual representation of all the patterns that I want to use. And I also have gone through all the fabric that I've recently bought. There are some fabrics that I have in my stash that I'll be also using for some of these patterns, but we'll kind of go over a little bit of that so that you guys have an idea of what patterns I am gearing towards for the fall and winter. And these are all patterns that don't have dresses in them. So for those people who are not really that into dresses, this should be like right up your alley, and I will show you all the things that I am looking forward to making this fall. All right, so now that we have pulled up my Notion board, this is all of the patterns that I am looking at for making for this fall. And I went through all the patterns that I personally have, so these aren't going to be like new ones that just came out. These are all going to be patterns that I've had for a while. And we're starting it off with Simplicity 1283, which is one of those styles from Mimi G, and this is one of her really old ones, but I just love this for the fall. It has the cardigan, the shirt, the pants, and the skirt in there, and I think these are just perfect for the fall and winter, and a little bit into that transitioning period that we're in now, with the summer to the fall. And I think all of these are really great options. So one of the things I really wanted to do was make this skirt, and then I see the pants here. I can't remember if they have pockets or not, but if they don't, I'm always going to add the pockets in there. So I am looking forward to having that. I like this top, but the only thing I want to change is I want to make it this part a little bit longer so that it hits probably right at that level of those pants and that skirt. The cardigan, I think I want to either make it out of that moon fabric that I showed you in my last video, or I want to use some of the other knits that I have. I have quite a few of them, and I think this would be a good option. I really like the way the collar is, and I like the length of it, and that it has those nice big pockets. So the next thing I want to do is this one here, and I like how the sleeves are. I forget what this is specifically called, but if you guys know what it is, just put it down in the description. I like this for just an everyday, and I'm looking for the long sleeve version of it. I'm not really that partial to having like the shorter sleeves or anything like that, but I want a long sleeve one, and maybe possibly do like a shorter sleeve than this, but not that style. Just, you know, kind of cut it off and then hem it. But I want to do this in a couple of different fabrics. I haven't quite decided on what fabrics I will be using, but it'll more than likely be some fabrics in my stash. And I will probably do this kind of color blocking. That way I can try to get through as many fabrics as I can. So I will be looking through my fabrics to see what I have there. The next one I have is Simplicity 1663, and I'm going for this mainly for the pants, which is view D. And I like this because it's just a simple pant, and I believe this does not have pockets, but I of course will be adding pockets in there. But this was the main thing I wanted it for. The rest of it is not exactly my style. I did use this for a short pattern a while back. I think it was last year. I made some shorts where I modified the pattern and made some shorts out of that. If you want to check that out, I will post a video up in here so you can see. But I want to go for the pants version. I'm looking for something that's more wide leg, and I think that would be a good option. Just make sure I add the pockets onto that. Maybe even add like a side pocket down here so that I can have that as an option. So the next one I have is 1887 from Simplicity. That one I have done before. I have done like a pants like this, The only thing I had an issue with is the pocket that they have on there. One is not deep enough, and then the other thing was the shape of the pocket was just, it left too much of an opening. So I think I would go in there, modify that, and then just shorten the way that they have that opening for the pocket, and then just make the pocket itself longer, because most of the stuff I find, they're just, the pockets are like, you can barely fit your hand in there, or it just fits your hand. And since I have sensory issues, I need to be able to put my full hand in and then just have it sit there. Like I don't like having my fingers like jammed into my pockets. So I'm going to be modifying that. But as far as the rest of the like pants, to me, it came out really good when I did do the pattern just as is. My only thing was that I did not like having those pockets the way they were from the pattern. So I think that's the only thing I want to change. I doubt that I'll do the tie, but if I feel that I have a fabric that that'll kind of work with, I'll do it. But just having that elastic around the waist, and then having that front just be like just interfaced, and that's it, worked out really well. I do think I will have to kind of go up a size though, because the waist that I did on the other one is already a little too tight for me, and that's just too tight because it's harder to get around my hips. Like, it just makes it so that it's comfortable. So if I end up gaining any more weight, then that would make it really hard to actually get those pants on. The next one I have is 2061, and this is a pattern that I have done quite a few times. I have this for my Cora costume, and then I also used it earlier this year, I want to say, to make a bunch of comfortable pants for me to wear at while I was at home during the last winter. And they're like a staple, so I can't just not do any more of them. The only thing I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make the woven version of the pattern, probably something similar to C. D and C are kind of the same, it's just slightly different details. So I'll just pick one of them. I may or may not do the side pockets because they have waistband pockets, and I'm not really in need of having those extra pockets, especially if they're just going to be pajamas for me, which is what I intend on making them for. I probably will make some more of View A, because I really like those, and they're really comfortable. They're good for like wearing out and wearing just like in the house, lounging around. So it all just depends on what fabric you use for that. And I love that they're knit, so you have a wide variety of ways you can actually wear that. So the next one I want to go to is this one here. This is another Mimi G. This is 8174, and I liked the dress and that it has that long sleeves, but I also like that jacket. Now, I have never made like a jacket like this, and I've been wanting to, and I feel like this is a good option. I don't know if I have any fabrics like right now in my stash that will actually work for this, but I will be going through and then trying to make something like this, because I love the moto jackets, and that was the main reason why I bought this, is so I can make the moto jacket. But I've had this for so long that it's like at some point you actually have to make it, and hopefully this year I'll be able to get to it, but we'll see. So the next one I have is this one here, which is 8222, and this is another Mimi G. This is another Mimi G pattern, and I like the jacket here. I think I have a fabric in mind for this, and I think it would work perfectly for it. I don't believe this is lined, but I probably will line it. And then I like that it has the pockets here, and it looks like it has two sets of pockets. That might just be like a decorative flap, but if it is, I may or may not do like double pockets. I don't know. We'll see how that ends up working out, because I've never done a double pocket before, so I don't know if that'll even work out for me. And then we have these pair of jeans that she has in there as well. I do want to kind of take my hand at doing some like denim jeans, or just like maybe like a canvas or something like that, and seeing if I can make that work. I'm not sure if she used like denim that had like a stretch in it, but we'll see if I get around to that. That probably won't be like this year, but it is nice to have that as an option to make an outfit. So the next one I have is the Simplicity 8389, and I like this for this kind of like stripe version of the pants, which is view A. I also like view D, but without the tie. I feel like these would be really good options with like slightly thicker, flowier fabric. That way you can wear it into the fall and be like really comfortable. It would be good either while you're out and about or just lounging around the house. So I thought that would be a really good option of something to have. I don't have any fabrics in mind for that as of right now, but I'm pretty sure I can find something that'll work really well. The next one I have is 8554, and that is this one here. And I thought this would be a good trench option. And it comes with 3 different lengths. I'm more than likely going to go with either B or A, which is the longer version. Honestly, there's not much need to be said here. It's because jackets are going to be a big staple for fall and winter, and I'm going to need something to keep me warm. I'm more than likely not going to go with the tie because I don't really like having that thing around my waist. So I will probably end up adding like buttons or maybe even a zipper to make it really easy for me to wear. The next one I have is a pair of pants, and this is a butterick pattern. This is 6327, and to me this is just a good option for a pant. I'm not sure on the fabric that I want for that, so I will have to either do a little bit of shopping or go through my stash and see if I have anything that'll work. I noticed that a lot of the time when I was buying fabric, I was not buying enough to like do pants, so most of the stuff I only have enough to do like a shirt. So I will have to kind of go through what I have and then see if I need to buy something for that. But these are 2 different views. I think from what I can tell, the only difference between the 2 is where the waist hits. So A is a high waist one, and then B is like a mid-rise, which I think are pretty good options. I don't recall if this has like back pockets or even side pockets, but of course I'll be adding pockets on there. I typically do not like to add back pockets on there because I don't typically use them. I'll just use like the front pockets. But if I feel it necessary to have another pocket, I always like putting it like lower on the like side. So the next pattern I have is this birder pattern. This is like one of my favorite birder patterns that they have, and it's 6820, and I like this because you get 3 different sleeves options for the same shirt. And I typically go for A and C as my versions. But like one thing I do know is you have to be mindful on the fabric that you're using and the size that you cut out. Because if a fabric does not have enough stretch, it'll be like super tight on the arms. Like with this one here, there was a fabric I used probably a year ago where I used it on the long sleeve version, and those sleeves are now too tight for me to even wear, but the shirt itself still fits. So you have to be really mindful on what fabrics you're using and the size that you cut out. So anything that has a good amount of stretch would work really well, because I've done view A with a fabric that had a really good amount of stretch, and it fits perfectly on me. It's a little bit loose, but it's still form-fitting, so I feel really comfortable. But I used another fabric that didn't have as much stretch with the long sleeve version, and it did not fit right. Same with a view A. I did a version of that with a fabric that didn't stretch as much, and I felt like it was pulling on my chest area right here. So it didn't have enough space there. So you do have to be really mindful on the knits that you're using with the pattern that you like cut out for. Because like you could cut out your size, and if you're using a knit that doesn't have as much stretch, it can actually be uncomfortable for you. I do like all links that they have. I think for this one here, I really only want to wear that with things that I have like really high-waisted. Otherwise, I'd probably drop it down just like an inch or two. And then this one right here is like pretty much the one that I would go with like for every version. And then this one's just a little bit longer. I don't typically go for that length, but I mean, it's not going to harm me if I do end up going with that. So sometimes I have gone with that length. I just prefer view B as far as the length goes. And then for the sleeves, I prefer A and C. Okay, so the next pattern I have is another birder pattern. It's 6990, and I like this not only for the way the sleeves are done, but I like it for view C, which has a little bit of a turtleneck on it. I think I'd probably keep it a little bit shorter, just by like maybe an inch. That way it's more of a mock neck. But I like this for the fall and winter. I feel like that's a good layering piece, and the pattern pieces are pretty simple. You just have like the front, back, and then the sleeve. So that's just 3 pieces that you have to worry about. And then you can have so much fun with the different types of fabric that you use for that. But I also like that it comes with a couple of different options where you have a little bit of a longer turtleneck, and then you have a cowl neck as an option for it as well. And then you have like kind of more of a, I want to say that's more of a boat neck, but those are all good options of ways to wear this. So my main thing is I want to go with C, so I think that'll be a really good option. I have a couple of fabrics that I might be able to use for that, so I am looking forward to getting that into my wardrobe this winter. So the next one I have is actually a pattern I've done before, and I've done the shorts version of this, but I did it in a knit fabric. I think I want to go ahead and do the longer version in the pants with a woven fabric, which it's supposed to have. So with that, I'll actually end up doing the zipper in there, because with the knit fabrics, I omitted the zipper in there. And this is a back zipper. And then I think I'm also going to have to add the pockets in there. The pockets, I'm not going to do a side seam like I did with the knit fabrics, because I had an issue with where the pockets set on there, and I found myself like missing the pocket hole. And I did the pocket holes like long enough, but it's just like I had to go reach further back onto the pants to actually, or the shorts to actually get my hand in there. And I did not like that. I will either modify it so that it has like a curved opening, and that'll just make it a lot easier, or I will slide it forward some and then do that I'll do that same pocket on there, but we shall see. I will make that decision more so when I'm actually making it, but I wanted to do the pants version so that I have something like nice and long and flowy to actually wear. But I do like that, I do like the shorts. I just didn't really like where the pockets sat on the shorts that I made. So the next pattern I have is McCall's 7098, and this is a good pattern. I've done this before, but when I did it, I didn't account for the size of my hips and butt, so they were actually really tight around that area. So I will have to go in there and make modifications for that, but I felt like this was a really good option. I do like view E, and I'd probably just make it a little bit longer so you get a little bit of that gathering at the ankle. And I like that for winter because it like you can actually tuck your socks into. I typically wear like kind of really low socks, and I don't typically wear long ones unless it's like really cold. And I felt like I would just need that little extra length and that it would kind of hit right there where my shoes are. But this is the option that I want to do view E for that. I think I probably still go with a button for the waist closure. I think when I did it before, I used the hook and eye. I'm not a fan of hook and eye, so I'd probably still just go with using like a button and adding that in there. So the last pattern I want to show you is this McCall's pattern, and it's 7476, and this is a cardigan. I like this as an option mainly for view E. I also like view B. I want something a bit longer. I think what I'll end up doing here to change it a little bit is I'll probably add a second button, and then I will make those pockets bigger. I'm pretty sure they're a little bit smaller than I want them to be, but once I actually check the pattern, and we'll see. This is one I've had in my stash for a while, and I haven't even opened it. I haven't even touched it. I don't know how much fabric I'll need for that, but I will check all of that. I'm pretty sure I want to do this one in that moon and star fabric that I showed you in my last video. I'm looking forward to having that in that like kind of like really long duster. This is what I was thinking for that fabric. But I also like view B as well. I do prefer the long sleeve version over the short sleeve. I don't think I'll ever do the short sleeve one. But maybe if there's something for like the spring that I might want to do that, then maybe I will use it. But I like this for both view B and E. So that is all of the patterns that I am considering for this fall and winter, and I'm hoping I get around to a majority of this stuff. I'm pretty sure I won't get around to everything, but I want to get around to as much as possible, and I am looking forward to like making all of these things and showing you guys a little bit of the process of me sewing and making design changes and all of that great stuff. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.